Your landing page, more often than not, is the first impression of your business from any new visitor. The first place that they go is a landing page, which means that their first impression is there, and it is really important to get that impression right so people understand who you are and why they should care about you right away. So this video is going to go through a bunch of different examples of landing pages to figure out why they work so well, look at those elements that they got just right to get the most people who are coming in to take the next step. My name is Trent Kennelly. I'm a marketing strategist, and on this channel, I talk about all the things that you can do to improve your business through marketing, sales, and analytics. So if that sounds good to you and you're excited, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, comment and let me know what your biggest landing page issue is. I think we're probably gonna cover it here, so maybe you'll get a good idea of what it looks like, but if I don't, please make sure that you leave it in the comments so we can talk about it. But until then, let's get started. So let's start off by talking about Airbnb. So Airbnb, most of you probably already know this, is a service that allows people to open their homes to rent for people to stay while they're on vacations. It's a vacation rental service. So here what we're looking at is the hosting side. So this is Airbnb trying to convince people to host other people in their homes. So it starts off very simply. Hosting makes Airbnb very Airbnb. It's a very simple headline. I love this header video because I think it really personalizes it. So it shows people and it shows their names and shows where they are, and it just feels very real. All of these look like real people. It's a really nice feeling. It's not intended for you to sit here and stare at it forever. It's intended for you to get that feeling and keep going. Because other than that, there's not a whole lot here. There's the headline, there's a button that says try hosting, and then there's this little arrow. So you click on the little arrow and you get something that's a little bit, it's not often done. So you see testimonials right up front. So right here we have a testimonial, another testimonial. Airbnb has allowed me to create my own job doing what I love, blah, blah, blah. There's name and where they are. Okay, so it's a really nice, it's very diverse. This person's in Chiang Mai. This person's in Palombre Sabina. Never heard of that place. This place is person's in Atlanta. This person's in Milan, all over the place. And so it's showing it's this global community and everybody loves it. It's interesting to do it right there, but I think because it's host, it makes a lot of sense. So next, it takes you to where you are. So you know I'm in Belgium already, or if you don't, I'm in Belgium. That's where I live. And you can see here that it's already kind of pinpointed where I am. It's not exactly right, but it's very close. Host whatever you want, your entire place, private room, shared room, for how many guests, and it's going to change this information on the page based on what I say. So let's change this to Brussels. Look, there's the price. It's changed. So it's really impressive that it's a very kind of not normally done sort of a page, because you've got the video is nice. That's pretty standard, I would say. But after that, you've got testimonials right up front. And then you've got this big blank spot, which you don't normally see. But because it's talking about host, I don't know, it just kind of works. Because now you've got this thing that is very personal that says, hey, here's where you are. We know where you are. But if you want, you can update it to whatever you want. And we're giving you quotes and information right here on this landing page. You don't have to do any extra work to figure it out. And then it takes you down to asking questions to a superhost. So again, building trust. Testimonials build trust. Talk to a superhost, it builds trust. Because the superhosts are the people who use the platform the most to host their home or whatever other homes that they own on Airbnb. And then it says, hey, look, we have protections for you. So this is insurance or something like that Airbnb offers for its hosts. And so it's really very good at then saying, hey, try hosting on Airbnb, at saying, look, I know that it's tough to open your home to people that you don't know. I know that that's an uncomfortable thing, but there are lots of people that have done it. There's lots of trust around this process. We have insurance to cover you if something goes wrong. It's not going to go wrong. You should trust us. You should trust the people that we work with in your home. You're going to see reviews and all this sort of stuff. And it does a very good job of making you feel very comfortable. So its goal is to get someone to click this button, let's go, for try hosting on Airbnb, or to click this button, try hosting on Airbnb. There's not buttons all over the place, but there are interactive elements where you can move between things and see different parts, and it keeps you engaged as you're moving through it. But if you want, you can try hosting at any point that you want. So that's the real interesting, impressive thing about this Airbnb landing page. I really, really appreciate how well thought out it is for that. Next is Nauto, Nauto, Nauto.com. So Nauto has a lead magnet here. Nauto is a service that analyzes your drivers and makes sure that they're staying awake or they're practicing good driving habits while your fleet is in motion, okay? And so what they're doing here is they have an ebook that allows you to download for totally free to reduce fleet collisions, reduce coach high-risk drivers, incentivize driver safety, etc. And so it's just information, it's content. We've talked about lead magnets a lot on this channel. You can check out this video, for instance, for a lot of examples about lead magnets and kind of how that sort of thing works. But what you're doing here is you're trading the email address or the information. So here we've got name, email, phone number, company name, lots of details for the information that someone is trying to get. They most likely came into this page from a Facebook ad or maybe a piece of content or something. They don't just kind of stumble across this. But what's great about this is, so now it's got you asking to get the ebook, which is totally free. You don't have to have anything for it other than paying with your own email address. And then it takes the opportunity to say, all right, well, as long as people are here, I might as well sell them a little bit. So it tells you a little bit more about what's in the book, but then it goes on to say, oh, look, there's a problem with distracted driving, 14% increase in distracted driving fatalities since 2014. 1 in 4 collisions are caused by driver impairment from cell phone use, etc. So then it says, here's how Nauto works. This is what it does to increase driver safety and make sure that your fleet is driving in a safe fashion. So it's very simple. What we're going to do up here is we're going to get your email address. And even if you leave from this point with your ebook, that's fine, because now we have your email address. We can retarget you with retargeting ads on Facebook and Google. We can build lookalikes off of your email address and others that sign up. We can send you direct pitch emails. We can send you content emails. There's so much that we can do. Emails are internet gold. So the fact that we have this makes it a lot easier to take actions that we wouldn't have been able to take if you didn't give your email willingly. Next, let's talk about Upwork. So Upwork is an app that allows you to either hire freelancers to do work for you, or if you want to be a freelancer, you can work on this platform. And I work on Upwork quite a bit. If you want to know how to be really successful there, you can check out this video. But the point here is that what they have to do, because they're attracting both markets, the talent and the clients, is they have to straddle both of those markets on this page, because this is their homepage. And so a lot of people are coming to this homepage because they have enough clout, people know of them now, that they can just go look for Upwork and they're going to come across this page. So they have to straddle talent and work, right? So find talent, find work. You need to add both of those buttons here at the top so that anybody who's coming for one of those two specific purposes, and people will, they're coming for one or the other, not both for the most part, they're going to be able to take that action right away. It builds a little bit of social proof right here with these big names that use Upwork. And then it goes on to kind of, what you're going to see here is it kind of bounces between finding talent and finding work, and it kind of talks about both of them. So this first section is about posting jobs and finding projects and finding people that you can hire and the different ways that you can do that. There are 3 different buttons for you to take action, but because they look nice, it's not overwhelming. So it kind of fits with the brand colors, it fits with the picture, it kind of all fits together in this nice little box right here. So there's just this rounded corner box and everything kind of fits nicely in there. Then there's this interesting drawing that stands out along with their brand colors here. And it just gives you a little bit of social proof, a little bit of value proposition, okay? So we're saying why businesses turn to Upwork, because we have high quality, there's no cost until you hire, and it's safe and secure. So really good options for why you as a business who hasn't worked with Upwork before would want to work with Upwork. And then this just kind of reinforces how happy you should feel when you're on Upwork. So it's kind of a nice picture because it stands out, it's unique looking. And then we're still on hiring a pro, so we're not quite dancing yet. We'll see what we get with talent in just a minute. But what I really like about this section is it allows you to go look for people right away. So let's say that I'm looking for writing and translation. I can come click here, and it has a bunch of different tags. So Upwork tends to work on a lot of tags, and so you can add tags to your Upwork profile, and then it'll be easier to identify you. So we're in writing and translation. Let's just say business writing. Let's see who comes up. So we've got Jessica O that comes up, and you can start looking at skills or giving them a little bit more information about what you're looking for. Or maybe you could just, I don't even know, I haven't tried this. No, it doesn't look like you can click right away. But if that was interesting to you, based on the 197 jobs and the rating, maybe you could just go look for her and find her. Either way, it's getting you to take actions and go learn a little bit more about what you want out of Upwork. So it's nice, and then you back out after 2 steps and it takes you right back to the landing page. Jumping over to talent, this helps you figure out why you're going to be able to find great work opportunities, testimonials for people about what they're getting out of it and how they enjoy working with Upwork. And actually, this is a really genius testimonial section because you've got Kara Bedford of CompuVision who's talking about how great the freelancer was, and then you've got Sam Crockett who's working as a freelancer for CompuVision talking about how great it was to work with CompuVision. So really nice way of playing with the fact that there are 2 sides to this argument, right? And so then it just kind of gives you basically an action to take. So you've got these top skills, trending skills, what things that we're interested in, email marketing services, and we click on it, and it takes us to a group of people that we can start looking at to see what actions we want to take with them and if we want to hire them, etc. Really, it's really impressive because it does a great job of showing people from both sides of the aisle what they're going to be getting out of the Upwork experience while really keeping a strong brand image with their colors, with their imagery, with their icons, with showing real people and a mix of that and these vector images like this. And it works really seamlessly together. It makes it very readable and very engaging. All right, so next let's talk about Muzzle. So Muzzle this is interesting. So this is a Mac app that just hides pop-up notifications when you're screen sharing. So if you're on Zoom and you're screen sharing, it's going to be able to identify that, and it will hide certain notifications. So this is very simple. There's nothing to this page. This is as far as the page goes. There's just a download button, tells you exactly what it does, a simple Mac app to silence embarrassing notifications while screen sharing. But what's really, really interesting about this page, what's subtly genius about it, is this bar on the side. So it's just showing a bunch of pretty embarrassing texts. You've got your dad saying, "You should know that I'm very disappointed in you." Hey, sweetie, did you figure out what that rash was? Heads up, Clarissa wants to fire you. Lots of different things that are embarrassing to see when you're screen sharing. You don't want other people to see those messages coming across, right? So it's showing you the embarrassing things that can happen, and it's making you feel embarrassed. It's giving you that cringe quality when you haven't even done anything. So you're immediately going to go download this app because you don't want to be in that situation. You don't want to see I can't even read some of these. They're horrible. You don't want to see that when you're screen sharing. So this automatically makes you want to download this. And I hadn't downloaded this before, but I'm totally going to download this now. Let's talk about Slack. So Slack is kind of subtly genius. I mean, you can always rely on Slack to have really interesting landing pages. And this page is really interesting because while it is kind of standard, it also stands out because it's got this strong brand color. It uses this pop out effect with the pages. So you've got like these little icons that pop out above the Slack window. It gives you some social proof right away. So you can see big companies are working with Slack, Target and Intuit and Fox, really big companies. So that's great. You want to be part of that. You can see that these big companies trust Slack. You should trust it too. And what's really interesting here is that it's not always asking you to download Slack or to try it right now. Yeah, it has to try for free here, but then this is, now is your moment to build a better tomorrow. Watch the video. And then it's move faster by organizing your work life. What are channels? Create a channel. So tutorial videos on a landing page. Down here we have pause notifications. Down here we have brainstorming a channel, add external partners to a channel. So what's amazing about this landing page is it's doing like 3 things at one time. It's selling you without really selling you. It's showing you how to use Slack on the landing page, which is never done. You don't get tutorials on landing pages, but it's doing that, but it's doing it in a way that makes you see also, wow, this is a great tool. There's so much to this. I want to download it. So you're going, oh, I understand how to use it, and I'm going to download it at the same time. It's like you don't even need an onboarding. It's really, really impressive how they do this. So then at the end, they have the call to action, how to get started. So you create a workspace, you invite your coworkers, and then you get started with it. It's totally free, which is great. And then they add a little bit of content at the end. But I'm just blown away at these, what at first glance look like standard dancing columns. So you've got text on the left, image on the right, image on the left, text on the right, and then back to text on the left, image on the right. But actually, they're just tutorial images and they're tutorial videos, and they're not actually saying here try for free, because they've got the button up here. They don't really need to get you to do that. They need to get you to understand all of the benefits of this product very quickly. I'm so blown away by this webpage, honestly. Next is Wistia. So Wistia, you're going to see, is probably the most standard webpage on this list, but I actually think it's a very good one because it does a couple of subtle things that are really effective. So Wistia, if you don't know, is a video hosting platform. It's mostly done for B2B services. So Teachable, for instance, hosts all their course videos on Wistia. So you see a lot of that, but you'll also see, smaller companies that are using Wistia as well. And one of the things that's really interesting, so you've got the standard header text and subtext, and then you've got two buttons here, which I don't know I would normally go with, but that said, I always want to know pricing first. That's my instinct. So I'm not always going to go try for free first. I'm going to go straight for explore our plans, because I just want to know what I'm getting into before I start the trial. And I'm not alone there. Lots of people do that. But what I find really interesting here is that I normally suggest that this video be autoplay. But in this situation, it's not, and it makes sense because Wistia is a video player, so they want you to see all of the functionality of Wistia. So they want you to be able to just click the play button and then start seeing what's happening through Wistia, through the video, and you can get a feel for the player and the sound and kind of what this looks like. And I guarantee you, now that you're looking at it, you've seen this bar before. There's a little bit of a weird call to action here, but I'm thinking that it probably works pretty well, where it's kind of getting you into something different, like you're watching a cartoon instead of being asked to download the app or buy it or whatever. Go straight into value propositions from there. So things that you can do: take control of your content, send data to your favorite tools, bring videos and podcasts together, become a video marketing pro. So really easy, standard sorts of value propositions, but they do a good job at showing the values of Wistia and kind of what they're standing for here. I really, really like this big testimonial. So a lot of the time you'll see smaller testimonials or a bunch of testimonials together, but because Intercom is a big deal, that's a big company, that's a very well-known chat service. If you're not familiar with it, go look it up. It's fantastic, expensive, but fantastic. The testimonial here is from Intercom, and it's a very big, stands out testimonial. So you don't have to search for the testimonials. You don't have to squint to read it. It's right there in your face. And then we've got some other social proof, some who we're working with sort of thing, as we've seen in a lot of these landing pages up to this point: MailChimp, Zendesk, etc. And then finally, we've got some content. So it's never a bad idea to add some content, especially on some of these shorter pages, if you're trying to get people to continue to engage and you don't have a freebie or anything like that. And then finally, let's talk about Buffer. So Buffer probably has one of my favorite landing pages on here. Just like Slack, I think there are some really interesting innovations here. At first, it does look kind of standard, but I just love all of these little elements here and how you mouse over it and you see that it's a video and all of these little elements move. It just adds a little bit of engagement to it. It just adds a little bit of interest in people. It makes it feel cooler because there's just this little bit of movement. You see, watch this. It just moves just a little bit, and all these guys kind of spreading out just a little bit. You can watch a video. So standard headline, subheadline, button. We get to some social proof right away of some big companies that are using it. Some official marketing partners. This is really good because this is a social media scheduling app that it shows the official partners so that you don't have to worry about getting kicked off of Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest or LinkedIn because you're using the scheduling platform, because it officially works with them. Okay. It very directly gives this simple, 4-step approach to how to make a post and how to make better posts and grow using Buffer: analyze, publish, engage, and celebrate. And it feels very simple. And then you come down here and it's going to give you a little bit more detail. Now, this is my favorite section, these dancing columns here. So we've got the section that kind of shows up, it's grayed out, and then it pops up. Nice little image here. Interesting that there's no call to action, you'll notice, but you're so engaged in the section you don't necessarily notice that. Now here's what I really love. So we've got to planning and publishing. We have this that pops up just like it did last time, but watch the ballerina slippers. So they skip past the third one, and then they land in social media analytics. So you're gonna say, okay, I made this post here. Now I wanna see how it did. Really, really impressive. It's not just the movement, because at first you're like, is this stuck? Like, what's going on? But when you realize that, oh, actually it's just saying, yeah, and then you can go through this and see what the comments are like on it, and then you land here and see what the results look like so you can figure out how to improve them. That really slams home. Like that is a home run. I love how that looks. And I know that can be a little bit complicated to set up, but any kind of interactive elements like that really help to keep the page engaging and keep people interested in coming back to it. So, then it gets a little bit more basic. We've got this slow scroll of testimonials. It's nice that you can mouse over it so you can read it a little bit more clearly, but otherwise there's not much to this. It's just nice to have those testimonials. Always an important thing to have testimonials. I actually remember seeing the Apple Arcade page at one point blew me away because it had something similar to this. If I still have it, you're going to be looking at it on the screen right now. I don't know if I can still find it anymore. But in any case, it had this, but there were 3 rows of it, and they were moving. The 2 top and bottom were moving in the same direction. The middle one was moving in the opposite direction. So it created this really cool effect between all of those, and it just made things look a lot nicer. So it just kind of continues to back up from this point forward all of the different things that they're offering and how they're going to be helpful for you, and you're not alone, and they are the scheduling app that's going to help you get to that next level in your business. So I love this because it is so interactive, because it continues to push the points. Even down here, we've got more social proof after we had some above. We've got even more social proof here. So anything that you forgot from interacting with the page above, it's going to bring that back and help you feel like, wow, this is a really good idea. I should continue to look at this and maybe even start a free trial or use the free plan or whatever. So it's just such a good page because of those engagement elements. So there you go. Hopefully you found some great inspiration from these landing pages. I really don't suggest that you carbon copy any of them, but I do think that there's a lot to learn here to see what elements work really well, why they worked really well, what things that you can do to add to your website to see if you can make any improvements there. Buttons, page length, that sort of stuff are all really good factors to start with. So let me know what your biggest landing page issue is. Otherwise, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, and I will catch you in the next one.